Hey guys, David here from RapidQS. We are back in Auckland this week. We've got like a 2-week podcast series coming up. So we're meeting up with Rod from One Stop Deck Shop. I've actually an existing customer of theirs, reached out to him, really want to get some like cool insights into the decking industry. They have a group of companies in hardwood timber and natural and composite timber. So going to do a bit of a podcast with him, go to one of their projects that they completed in Penrose. So look forward to this podcast and comment down below if you've bought off One Stop Deck Shop. If you haven't, be sure to check them out. Rod, thanks very much for coming in today. I know we've had a little bit of a chit chat this morning and I think we've taken about half an hour to set up, but that's okay, man. It's all right. Nothing works perfectly. I think it's always good just to do a little bit of a brief or a start, obviously for people listening. What's kind of your background? What was your first gig out of school? How did you get involved in what you are now? And let's just start from maybe, 16 or 18 and give us the run.
Yeah. Well, obviously I come from a long line of timber family. I'm the fourth generation. My great-grandfather had, a sawmilling businesses on the West Coast and then moved to Christchurch, and my father and my grandfather all in timber, moving out of native into radiata pine. So definitely got sawdust in the veins.
Yeah, nice.
And out of school, pretty much did always into sort of like a lot of outdoor pursuits. Seemed to be crazy sports like motocross and skiing and snowboarding, etc.
Oh, how many broken bones do you have? Oh, I know that wasn't in the question sheet, but I've got to ask it.
Pretty much every broke nearly every bone. These days sort of into more passive sort of things like yoga, where nights restore your body, but still out there doing lots of ski.
Yeah, no.
Water and stuff. So love the outdoor stuff. Love the New Zealand outdoor life. That's why we live here, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
So in terms of like first gig out of school, I studied engineering, civil engineering, did a sort of master's degree in timber engineering, and then...
Where you study?
Canterbury, nice. Yeah, only because they had probably the best civil structural engineering guys in the world, so they're right on my back doorstep.
Nice.
So I got into that and then sort of worked overseas for quite a few years and then got dragged back into the family timber business for a number of years and then decided to go and do my own thing.
So what was your sort of first gig? Obviously you did your engineering. Did you work in the engineering field or?
Yeah, I did. I went overseas for quite a few years, mainly in Australia. Worked over there, did some work in the UK and a little bit in the Middle East and in the US, and then sort of came back to New Zealand with sort of quite a broad understanding. And then when I worked into the family business, sort of recognised the fact that there was quite a big world in terms of wood products, and just decided that we could actually incorporate a lot of what the mills and that were doing under one banner. And I think that was probably like the evolution of Build Pro, really.
Yeah.
We started off, my brother and I, with a company called Lignus, which was a B2B hub for the wood industry.
Yeah. How old were you when you started this, Lignus?
Lignus sort of was in our 20s.
Yeah, no. Mid-20s?
Mid to late 20s,
Yeah, cool. So obviously at this time you had a degree under your belt and you'd worked in 3 or 4 different countries, so you had a bit of experience and you kind of knew a few things.
Totally.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So how did Lignus come about? Was it your idea, your brother's? What was
I think with the internet sort of, coming on stream, and you could see, the power of linking companies together through the internet globally, that, there was an opportunity. I think we probably... It didn't quite fire. We're a little bit ahead of our time. And a lot of the mills were still working on dial-ups and things like that. And you needed a bit more bandwidth to get these things working properly. Yeah. So it sort of was semi-successful from a point of view that it enabled us to link up to a lot of companies overseas that wanted to buy wood out of us, but wasn't legally successful in terms of the whole thing working online. So just a little bit ahead of its stuff.
Yeah. What would have been like your kind of definition for that being successful though? Like what was your dream outcome with that business?
Oh, I think the whole thing to just, have a global network of trading and being able to buy and sell all your lumber through one platform
I see.
around the world.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And like, did it get to the point where it was pretty big in New Zealand? Like, what was it? And what was the business model? Was it subscription based, one off, like just a percentage on?
Yeah, it was B2B. It was just basically you could trade your lumber. You could do it. We're trying to replicate the way it was done traditionally, which was a little bit complicated in terms of putting it into an online platform. But yeah, we're enabling that to happen so people could put timber on and sell it for a certain amount, and you could close off different things without going into all the details. It worked really well, but it was quite complex as well, because it is quite complex how you trade wood lumber all around the world.
Yeah.
And so from our point of view, I think it never really fired completely, and we sort of ended up sort of going back to being more traditional.
Yeah.
But, a lot of companies, they wanted that sort of relationship-based selling. And so that's what enabled us to move on. And that's sort of what the start of Build Pro was.
Yeah.
Relationship-based selling and less of it online.
Yeah. But just because we'll move to Build Pro, but so just on that perspective, obviously when a builder goes to a supply yard, they just buy their standard 90 by 45. Were you guys sort of one step ahead? You're trading the actual logs. Is that?
We tried to do every species in the world. And we just tried to do too much.
Yeah.
And it just became too complex. And in actual fact, the old adage, keep it simple, stupid, probably would have, if we just focused on New Zealand. And I think we pulled all that back. And in the end, it was sort of semi-successful, but the internet bubble sort of, I think it burst in about 2000, and that's when, the whole thing just was a little bit of a mess for a few years, and that's when we sort of pulled our horns back in and rearranged it, so we're just more focused on stuff out of New Zealand.
Yeah, cool.
Do out of there.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to take on the whole world.
Yeah, I mean, you're always pretty
with that ambitious.
Yeah, especially in your late 20s, and your peak male dominance, take it over.
Yeah.
So like when you guys did you close it up? Did you sell it, or did it just kind of move into Build Pro?
So that kind of happened. It's just sort of transitioned into Build Pro.
Yeah.
And he's kept doing it through that on that basis, and we just sort of slowly went back to more traditional. It sounds like we're doing it the wrong way around, but I think we just became more traditional in terms of the way we sold things, but obviously using email, etc. as well.
Yeah, no.
And lots of people have always said, you should dust that thing off and get it going again. But you've been through all that whole thing, you kind of feel like you've been a bit burnt by it all.
Yeah. So was that your first venture?
Yeah, no, I think, it was my first venture outside of working for my family business.
Yeah, cool.
Sort of got out of the engineering thing.
Yeah, nice. How long was the transition from how was it pronounced? Lignus. How long was the transition to that, to Build Pro, like first launching?
Oh, I think, probably 6 or 7 years.
So what were you doing for those 6 or 7 years? You would have been in early 30s?
Yeah, well, we would, it was my brother and I.
Yeah.
We were trading lumber through Lignus, and then he decided he wanted to go back to the family business, and I carried on with Build Pro.
Yeah.
And the reason I called it Build Pro is, even though I come from a timber background, I always felt that I'm not completely tied to timber products.
Yeah.
Timber has beautiful product, but also being a natural product has lots of issues.
Yeah.
And we can have.
Yeah, for sure.
So I always thought, well, in the future, it's building products, and they may be, something that's a little bit different to this timber.
Yeah, cool. So just to give everyone a little bit of background, obviously I was buying through One Stop Deck Shop when I had my building company, and I think I finally convinced your lovely sales rep to get you here. But if we could do a little bit of a brief on sort of Build Pro, One Stop Deck Shop, and Timberline.
Yep.
If we can go through sort of what was first, what was your inspiration into branching into the others, and then maybe sort of what takes up the most time now when you're not doing yoga.
Well, I mean, Build Pro obviously started it about 20 years ago, and primarily, we were exporters, so we were buying timber off New Zealand suppliers, and we had a customer base from overseas. So we were one of the first New Zealand companies to really start exporting radiata pine into Europe.
Yeah.
Especially the high grade pine.
Shit.
And just, we just developed a lot of customers, niche customers for the mills. So, in those days, we're, dealing with lots of different New Zealand mills and we were actually buying the timber and on selling it. We were to commission agent as such.
Okay.
And so we just developed a really good customer base in various countries all around the world and a lot of niche products. And, the mills can see the value of that and keen for us to, do more with them. And from there, we started realizing that we were quite exposed to the currency. The New Zealand dollar used to fluctuate up and down all over the place, and didn't matter how well you ran your business. If you didn't get all your forward cover right, it could be a problem. So then we looked at importing. So what can we import as a natural hedge?
Yeah.
And then from there, we were importing, selling to the big box stores.
Yeah. Big box stores meaning?
Meaning the base makers,
your big trays.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, products like Quila decking, etc., bringing in those products and selling them, wholesaling them to the chain stores. And then as time evolved, we got more and more into manufacturing and buying lumber, grit, and drying and processing, etc. Just trading stuff became harder and harder.
Yeah.
So we actually had to add some value.
Yeah.
And so I think from Bill Pro's perspective, back in after the Canterbury earthquakes, we had some products that were coming back in from the merchants that they were like, hey, this product, we're sending it back because it's not quite right. And we'd look at it and say, well, what are we going to do with it? So we started our own sort of outlet store for selling products that were seconds, basically. And a lot of seconds are things like bamboo decking that, they said they didn't like.
Yeah.
Which we thought there was nothing wrong with. And then
that's classic expectations, eh?
Yeah. That evolved into, hey, why don't we start a specialty retailer, just selling decking products? And that's where that started. So that's sort of been going for about 12 years.
Cool.
And then from there, I think we sort of were importing cladding products, like we import cedar, etc.
Do you do a Bodo on that as well, or just?
Yeah, we've got a relationship with a Bodo.
Yeah.
That we think it's a really good product, but at the end of the day, we've also got our own products. So we're doing like Thermary Ash, Thermary Nordic Pine, which are thermally modified timbers coming in from Europe, which we see as the movement away from, nasty chemical-based treatments and much more eco-friendly treatments. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand's probably still one of the few countries in the world where you can put CCA products into areas where people can touch it.
Yeah.
And so we look at that and go, hey, we've got to take on treated pine decking, which is nature deck, where we're doing it without the chrome and arsenic in it. And we're saying, hey, why don't you just buy this product? It isn't actually much more expensive at all.
Yeah.
And if you've got kids or, if it's going into an education facility, why wouldn't you use it? So again, niche, innovative things like Modwood, for example, which is our wood plastic composite, which is 90% recycled, brilliant product, ticks nearly every box, but not for everyone. So you've got to have a range, So when we got into One Stop Deck Shop, we went, hey, if we're going to be specialists, we need a good range.
Bigger range.
Hardwood. We need a good composite, and we need, our pine offering as well. Other products coming in from inside.
What would you say is like, how different has, say, let's just use a 5-year gap between hardwood and composite and now? Like, is there quite a big shift in more people using composite, or is it?
Yep. Definitely a shift towards composite because it's
from the builders. Like, is your main client base builders or direct?
A lot of it's builders, but a lot of it's also making sure that architects and specifiers, landscape designers become aware of it. And I think there's a growing trend amongst the public that they want to use a product that's not cutting down the rainforest. that's going to perform well. And you look at something like Modwood, 90% recycle, got an R11 commercial slip rating, it's fire rated. It's a great product. And, there's a lot of different composites on the market. And yes, if you line them all up, they all look the same in the showroom. But you got to look at it and say, hey, what are they going to look like in 5 years? How are they performing over time? And we've found that a lot of the product on the market is probably not performing to expectations. So we went to a lot of trouble to demonstrate how Modwood will perform and getting a code mark certified so that people have that confidence that this is a product that's going to go the distance and do it well.
So let's just imagine some builders have no idea what Modwood is. Can we give a couple of sort of pros and cons of that versus a standard hardwood?
Yeah, so Modwood's a wood plastic composite. Most builders know what that is. See them on the market. There's quite a few different brands. Obviously, it's not real timber. It's, if you compare it with a hardwood, a lot of people like that natural look of hardwood.
More maintenance with hardwood though, yeah?
Yeah, more maintenance. So depending on what you want to do, some people just want to lay just let it silver off and age naturally. But you've still got to clean it, Some people want to oil it and keep it looking
every couple of years, keep it fresh.
Oiling. So you've got that sort of quite a lot of maintenance on it. Modwood comes in 100% 5.4 meter lengths, so you got less wasted, less joins in it.
Because hardwood is typically you can't order 100 lengths at 5.4. You'll say you'll get lengths between 2.4 and 5.4.
Correct.
And we'll give you a ballpark of 150 lineal.
Depends on which one it is, Auckland market loves Vitex, but the Vitex comes out of the Solomon Islands. It's not much infrastructure there. The length specs terrible, really. He might be averaging sort of 2.4 meters, whereas Aquila, you probably get something closer to 3.6 meters. And it's kind of a bell curve of all the different lengths. So it's,
Do you have any, sorry to interrupt you, do you have any kind of when you talk to suppliers for hardwood, can you put any, trying to think of the right way to word this, can you put any heat on them around the lengths that you're getting? Can you say, hey, you guys are quite, there's a lot of variables in the lengths. Can we the lengths?
Yeah, we have very strict length specification for our Aquila because we buy it off set mills, and that's all set in concrete. We've agreed that there's, with any pack, there's got to be this volume of lengths, and it's obviously got to fit in with what they're cutting. It's
true.
And you can get a lot of secondary suppliers who are sort of like remanufacturers in Indonesia. They'll be buying up more second stuff, and so their length specs shorter, not as good, and suddenly you'll see it come on the market. And so it's like, but I can buy Aquila from so-and-so.
But have you checked the lengths?
But have a look at the lead. The maximum is probably going to be 4.2, whereas ours is 5.7. So you're not quite comparing apples with it.
Yeah, that's true. Because I feel like everything in this market is cheaper, better, who can get in. But there's little things like that. Like if the average person would read that, then you've got a whole pack of short.
It was in the detail.
More labor, more wastage. Yeah, interesting. And you raised one other good point there. Our biggest news topics are always, people love to know rates and stuff around the country, right? And you just spoke about Vitex is popular in Auckland. Give us some information on regions, decking, what's popular in what areas, and if you have any info as to why.
Okay. I think in New Zealand as a whole, Aquila is definitely number one. It's reasonably priced for a hardwood. At the moment, it's really cheap, and we can talk about why that is. But it works, and then you get, but it's not for everyone because Aquila is a bleed.
It's messy when you're in a store.
If you put it on a balcony, and it bleeds all down the side of the house, it's not going to work. So you definitely got Aquila, but for most Kiwis, they know it. It's tried and true. It's always going to work. And the lead spec's pretty reasonable. And then you go into sort of other hardwoods like Vitex in Auckland. Vitex work. It's, again, a beautiful species. It's a different colour, more golden. I think it's called New Guinea teak or something. Teak. But the downside of Vitex, terrible length spec, gets average length sort of it ranges from 1.8 up to about you can get it over 4.8, but on average it's about 2.4.
Yeah, labour intensive that, man.
Lots of wastage. Can get a lot of wastage. Lot of joins in it.
Yeah. More screwing, more small parts. Yeah.
So that's Vitex. Then you've got Garapa coming out of Peru. So we import Garapa from Peru. That tends to be a little bit better length spec than Vitex. Similar kind of goldy coloured species. Not quite as stable as Vitex, but there are ways around it. If you coat it on both sides before you lay it, it's good to go. And we like Garapa as well. It's more dense than Quila. So Vitex, Garapa, and then you have Purple Heart, which again is from South America, from Brazil. Very dense. Will definitely outlast the likes of Quila, but all of these, and it doesn't leach, but all of these other species are quite a lot more expensive than Quila. So you've got that trade-off. We import Thermory Ash, which is a hardwood that's been modified from Europe. Again, that's a beautiful timber, very stable, won't leach, but also quite expensive because of its ag and it's thermally modified, etc. So it's one of our premium products. Can't buy it from placemakers or Mitre 10. And a lot of people love it. And then you've got obviously your composites, which there's quite a lot of brands on the market. We only sell Modwood because we think it's the best. That's the only one that's got a code mark certification, which means it complies with every aspect of New Zealand building code. It can't be rejected by a local authority. Even a British appraisal can be. And I think there's some of the composites have had a brand's appraisal. But we've actually got a code mark. And so for specifiers, you can specify with confidence. Builders, the stuff works. It really does. And it's not the most expensive one on the market. It's when you look at the overall product life cycle of something like Modwood, it actually doesn't work out much more expensive than Quila.
Because would you say composite is without the added expense cost? Would you say it's around about, it's what, 20% more expensive than hardwood?
Depending on where
for sure,
because the prices do fluctuate.
Let's talk about that. You spoke about that, and I was saying to you, I think it was like 2 years ago, Quilla, I noticed within a 12-month went from about 1650 a lineal down to 10. How is that such a huge change in rates in a 12-month period?
Good question. A lot of the increase during COVID was driven around shipping rates. To get the price we were paying to that product out of Asia just went through the roof with the increase in shipping rates. But also it's driven around supply and demand. Most of the Quila comes out of Indonesia. And depending on whether or not they've got logs flowing into their mills, a lot of their log supply is driven around weather. And if it's, rains a lot and they can't get the logs out of the bush and the mills haven't got any logs, because they take them from one particular island on a barge and barge them into their mills, which are all in Java. And if they can't get logs and they got people screaming for their wood, guess what? The price is
supply and demand, man.
Supply and demand. And look, I think post-COVID, the demand for Quila out of Australia and New Zealand, which are the biggest markets for it, dropped off quite a bit. And the mills had too much stock. And so suddenly they're like, hey, they're going to run a business like anyone, price down, freight rates went down, and suddenly the price of Quila's gone from $16 down to 10. We think it's bottomed. We think it's about to go up again. Freight rates are going up again. I think that, you'll find that if you're going to buy a Quila, probably
stock up for some.
It might be $10 or $11 or $12 again next few months. Fluctuates, but
one question on shipping and logistics. I did a bit of an import trial during COVID just purely for fun. We did a container of form ply and a container of jib, and it was hilarious. We made real good money on the first one, and it was real cool. We went into, and I don't give a shit that it's highly illegal, but I sold all of our stuff during the COVID lockdown because it was in our yard in Royal Oak. And we made like a 4x on what we'd done. And I thought, shit, we'll do this again. And then everyone had pre-purchased during COVID. And by the time our containers landed, the market was flooded. And then I lost money on the second round. How do you dictate, two-part question, how do you dictate or like kind of preempt the shipping costs and logistic costs and stuff like that? And during COVID, what was your most expensive container import versus your cheapest, like over a 12-month sort of period?
Yeah, good questions. It is complicated. I don't know anyone who's got an algorithm or worked out.
But if they do, let you know.
let us know. We're all ears. But yeah, I mean, it's very hard to get everything right. I mean, sometimes when we see that prices are going up, we think, shit, do we order more? Or does we order less? Because the problem you get, if you're ordering at the peak of the pricing and then the price starts to fall and you've got the stock, you're holding on much more expensive stock and your competitors can come in on cheaper stock and suddenly you're going to have to drop it at no margin. Your question around freight rates, good one. Some of the stuff that we were importing from Europe, I think the rate got up to $13,500 for a 40-foot container.
I think we did a 20-foot and it was the free was like 4,000, post was like 8.5. It doubled. It was stupid.
Some of ours went up 4 or 5 times, and you're kind of looking like you're trying to explain to customers, hey, we're not gouging the price here. It's the freight that's really driven it, and demand as well. So it was everything was going up, and then as we came out of COVID, suddenly all the shipping lines are like,
backlog.
Yeah, but shipping doesn't stay down forever because they just take ships off. And in New Zealand, we have this little island at the bottom of the world, and there's only so many freight routes that they go. And if the shipping lines aren't full coming in and out of here, they just remove vessels off them until they get them full, and the price comes back up again. So the prices don't stay down for very long.
It's such a risky business model because you have no say. Have a water if you want. That's real risky because you're obviously trying to run an honest business. You have to implement profit margins and making sure you're making money to cover these costs. So then if they just decide to remove a shipping line, you can't do anything.
During COVID, we had freight increases post what we'd ship. So we'd agreed on a freight rate, and then suddenly we get all the invoicing through. I go, oh, that's the price out. And you just pay it, because if you don't, we're not going to let you on any more vessels. Stop shit you open.
Yeah, man, for sure, bro. Telling you, bro, that I knew that.
Yeah, it looks easy, as you found out, but sometimes it's a lot trickier than what you think.
How often are you talking to like these suppliers overseas, and is it hard like maintaining those relationships with these guys and to keep do they run honest, ethical businesses? Like, is it the Wild West? Is it good?
Yep, it can be the Wild West. I mean, we're lucky that we have relationships. If you look at Southeast Asia, we've been at it a long time. The relationships we've got with our suppliers in Indonesia are pretty long term, 20 years. And, the players in that field, they don't really change much. The mill might get sold to another company or whatever, but, it's actually held within quite small hands. And you look at South America, we've got a guy on the ground there, and he runs around and checks everything.
Yeah, no. So he's there
more the Wild West over there. Yep.
So he's checking quality, checking stuff gets over them.
He's going to see the mills and saying, how we going with this order, that order.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that, we're just going to get
nailed with
no consistency.
Delays, bad product.
They think they can get away with it. They'll just chuck something in, depending on as well.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that it's right at the other end.
Yeah. So is he a Kiwi guy?
No.
Indonesian?
No. He's a foreigner. He's European. He's West X. He's running around over there. He's married. This is in Peru.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
He's based. He lives.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
And so that's useful for us. It de-risks our business and saves us having to. I lived in Brazil for quite a few years, and so I know the dynamics of that market. And
yeah,
it is. a little bit road. It's, yeah. I mean, people used to get shot and
Yeah, that's nuts, man. Have you done many, obviously you've been to Peru, been to Brazil and that. Do you do many business trips now? Like do you try and do a trip?
not as many as I used to. I've got a business partner. He does most of them these days. But I mean, yeah, we travel a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get out.
Absolutely, man.
And while we're over there, we think, well, we might as well, if we're selling something to these guys, what can we buy off?
Yes. Yeah.
How we ended up doing that. So you go to Europe and sell stuff, and you can go around and see some of the customers you buy stuff off. Same with North American market as well.
Yeah. So just to give everyone a bit of a quick gist, where's like the main countries you buy and import everything from?
Indonesia is where all our Aquila comes from. And then there are other species there. You know, there's things like Balara and that. We wouldn't touch them because New Zealand, they don't work.
Yeah.
And we know what works and what doesn't. In South America, obviously, as I mentioned, Purple Heart, Garapa, Europe, the Thermory ash comes from there, Thermory not pine. Things like our cladding for our timberline business, you know, we've got cedar comes in from Canada. We also manufacture certain stuff here. You know, we've got our thermally modified H32 cladding, and we've got the...
Where's the physical mill for that or manufacturing plant for that?
We manufacture a lot in Christchurch.
Oh, okay, cool.
There. But we also have like third-party processes and scattered around the country that we can...
Yeah. On a real rough, I'm not going to hold you to this. How many lineal meters of decking are you pumping out a year? Do you have a rough idea? Just to give people an idea of the sheer volume of business, you know?
I mean, people sort of look at things like, you know, the Modwood Composite. Yeah. And think, oh, yeah, that's a small part. But I mean, yeah, we go to a container of that a week.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, tens of thousands of meters every week.
Yeah.
You know, Aquila, you know, it's pretty big. There's a lot of it. I mean, for a little market, you know, New Zealand needs quite a lot of wood product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, interesting. Just ripping through some of that. What are you sort of, how are you seeing, I know we spoke about this in the entranceway, around what's like the market at the moment this year in comparison to last year? And what do you sort of see in the next 4 to 6 months? Obviously, you guys are purchasing quite a long time out.
Yeah, we are. And we hold a lot of stock. I think that's the thing. We've got to hold at least sort of 2 or 3 months worth of stock on each line that we have.
Yeah.
So we hold millions and millions of dollars worth of stock. So that's sure that we have regular, consistent supply. And so you got to juggle all of that. You've got obviously the stuff talking about Aquila. You've got, you know, where are the mills at? They got enough log supply, etc. And then I think you make sure we better load up on Aquila containers because we might not get any, you know, it can stock them and say, hey, we haven't got any, and, you know, we're not going to supply too much. In terms of...
And one more question I want to quickly butt in. How many people do you have watching logistics and all that full time? Like, you must have a team.
We've got our own shipping department.
Okay, cool.
So,
how many people work in that department?
3 very, very competent girls.
Yeah, nice. That's good. Yeah.
Done it a long time. So very efficient. And yeah, look, we've got, I mean, Joe, my business partner, tends to look after the importing side in terms of the relationships with our suppliers, because it is a very tricky thing.
Oh man, logistics and that. I could imagine your day to day.
Never get it completed.
Yeah.
We're gonna run out of that essentially. It's like, you know.
Yeah. What's your split of the business? What do you kind of predominantly look after?
Well, I'm sort of more in a role where I'm looking after the Auckland market, you know, and I tend to do more business development. So just looking at how we can get our products into some of the group home builders, type of thing, and developing those relationships with key customers, new key customers.
Yeah. Yeah. Podcasting, man, might be the way forward for you.
Bring it on.
You're pretty good so far. I was going through your website this morning and I read one page on the One Stop Deck Shop. So do you guys offer full deck quotes for customers? Now, is that supply and install or just supply?
Yeah, so look, from our point of view of One Stop Deck Shop, we look at it, we want to sell the products, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are busy. They come in, they're not, you know, it can be a DIY product. They might know a builder, but a lot of people come in and go, hey, can you install as well?
Yeah, nice.
So we have recommended installers, and we just send them out, and they build decks all day, every day,
Nice.
and do a great job, and actually really cost efficient. So
Cool.
that's how we do it. We don't actually employ
No, but
you guys. We don't want to become
it's a contract partnership, and you just say, I can give you X amount of decks roughly a month.
Yeah, and it works really well.
Yeah.
And so that's that side of it. In terms of deck quotes, again, people want to be able to, most people come into our store. It's all about them coming in and walking out thinking, now I know what I'm doing. And these guys are going to send me out a plan.
Yeah.
And, we send them out the blueprints and make them decide whether they're going to build it themselves or get their builder mates or get one of our installers in to do it. We're trying to take the complexity out of it and make it as simple as possible.
Yeah, nice.
Provide a service.
What's like the main play or angle with you guys? Like, do you just want to be seen as the main, the best decking supplier? Like, are you trying to compete with Mitre 10s and placemakers, or are you just staying very niche in what you do right now?
Yeah, we look at it and go, hey, we've got a much bigger product range. We export it all and sell it all direct, so we're very competitive. We understand the products that we sell because we're wood people predominantly, and we're passionate about that. So that our quality is very good. And so you look at it and go, it's our main thing. It's what we do. If you're going to build a deck, why would you go there when you can come to us?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
better service, better quality, great pricing.
Yeah, good stuff. That's a good sales pitch. What's your main passions outside of business? Yoga. You were saying a bit of yoga.
Yeah, these days yoga. But, I still love my skiing and do a bit of snowboarding, but we never have enough powder here to go snowboarding.
So you do a few Queenstown trips every year?
Yeah, absolutely. Like to do a couple of alley skis a year.
Yes, that's very adventurous, man.
Oh, hell yeah, love it. And then, in the summer, sort of like to get out in the water. Just actually started getting into wing foiling.
Wing foil, is that where you're sitting on a foil up out of the water?
Yeah. So foiling, kind of wailing, you're just holding on to it. Sort of quite a few of my mates have got into it.
Nice.
The thing. So
where do you know that?
I've been learning out at Lake Puki and on the North Shore there.
Yeah, good.
So get out and surf once you get into it.
Yeah, you've got a surfer vibe too, man. I could see you in Bali,
Yeah. I don't surf much these days.
Yeah, fair enough. What's been your favourite holiday destination, or where's somewhere you want to go in the next 12, 24 months?
Definitely like going to places where you can get out and do some adventuring. Certainly keen to go and do a ski trip up in the Northern Hemisphere. And I haven't actually ever been to skiing in Japan.
Yeah,
in their winter.
It's cheap there at the moment.
February, March. Pretty keen to do a ski trip there. And in terms of summer holidays, I actually prefer New Zealand in the summer.
Yeah,
it's like wild going anywhere else. There's plenty to do here.
Yeah, that's good, man. What are your kids into? Kids and partners, family?
Yeah, no, my kids are into. They definitely like skiing. Definitely the youngest one. We just went to do a ski holiday. The oldest one's, she's into outdoor athletics, running and that.
Nice. Just like your old man, very active.
Yeah. So no, they're all pretty much growing up now.
Good.
In the uni.
Are they going to look into working in the family business, you think, or
I hope not?
No pressure. Tell them to stay out of logistics.
It's getting something a whole lot easier, I reckon.
Yeah, fair play, man. So if any sort of builder clients are listening to this, how can they sort of contact you, and what the value proposition?
Yeah, let's get them to get hold of us, and we'll send them through what we can do and get them signed up if they're keen, and give us a try.
Awesome, man.
See what we like.
Cool. Thanks very much for coming in, man. Much appreciated.
No,
great, Jen.
Great to be here.
Thank you, bro. Cheers. Awesome, man.
Good man.
That was good. Thank you.